Starmer disgraced as Nigel Farage breaks silence on Robert Jenrick's bombshell, sacking over defection plot. The political world was shaken after Robert Jenrick was suddenly fired from the Conservative shadow cabinet. Party leader Kemi Badenoch said she had clear and irrefutable evidence that Jenrick was secretly planning to defect in a way that could damage the party. The news broke quickly and caused chaos across Westminster, with many questioning whether the Conservative Party is now losing control of its own senior figures. This moment highlights just how unstable British politics has become, especially with an election looming and voter trust already badly damaged. Nigel Farage was immediately asked if Jenrick had been in talks with him about joining Reform UK. Farage said he was surprised by how the story came out, but he did not deny speaking with Jenrick. Instead, he made it clear that private conversations are exactly that, private. Farage explained that he has spoken to many senior Conservatives recently, not just Jenrick, and that many of them are seriously worried about their political future. According to Farage, a lot of MPs believe the Conservative Party is heading toward a historic collapse, similar to what happened to the Liberal Party a century ago. If you're enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe because you're doing the right thing so you won't miss any update from this channel. Farage went on to say that while he had conversations with Robert Jenrick, there was no signed deal and no planned announcement. He pushed back hard against claims that Jenrick was about to be unveiled as a star signing for Reform UK. In Farage's words, Badenoch appears to have panicked, assumed the worst, and acted too fast. This kind of reaction, Farage suggested, shows just how nervous the Conservative leadership has become as defections continue to pile up. What makes this situation even more damaging is the wider political context. The Conservatives are facing losses across Scotland, Wales, and the so-called Red Wall, while Labour under Keir Starmer continues to position itself as the safe alternative. However, Farage took aim at Starmer as well, arguing that Labour offers more of the same failed thinking, especially on energy, immigration, and net zero. In his view, Starmer may benefit from Conservative collapse, but that does not mean Labour has real solutions. Farage also used the moment to deliver a fierce attack on current energy policy, calling it economic self-harm. He argued that Britain now has some of the most expensive energy prices in the Western world, which is driving industry out of the country. According to Farage, Scotland and the rest of the UK are being deindustrialized because of over-reliance on renewables without proper backup. He said the government has locked the country into high energy costs for decades, benefiting foreign companies more than British workers. He pointed out that while renewables do create some jobs, they destroy far more in traditional manufacturing. Farage contrasted Britain's weak economic growth with America's strong performance, saying the biggest difference is energy policy. The U.S., he noted, embraced domestic gas production, while Britain restricted its own supply. This criticism applied not only to the Conservatives, but also to Labour figures like Starmer and Ed Miliband, whom Farage accused of treating net zero like a religion rather than a practical policy. Returning to the Jenrick issue, Farage made it clear that Reform UK is open to welcoming people from other parties, but only if they genuinely share Reform's values. He said Reform will not become Tory Party 2 and will not accept politicians who are simply looking for a lifeboat to save their careers. Anyone joining must admit past mistakes on issues like mass migration, net zero, and North Sea taxes. Interestingly, Farage noted that Jenrick had previously resigned from government over immigration policy, which he described as a big tick in Jenrick's favor. That resignation showed, in Farage's view, a rare moment of principle in modern politics. Still, he emphasized again that nothing has been agreed and that conversations do not equal commitments. This entire episode exposes a deeper truth about British politics right now. The Conservative Party looks fractured and defensive, Labour under Starmer looks cautious and uninspiring, and Reform UK is positioning itself as the voice of voters who feel completely ignored. Whether or not Robert Jenrick ever joins Reform, his sacking alone sends a powerful message. Loyalty inside the Conservative Party is breaking down fast. Farage even hinted that more shocks are coming, teasing that a Labour defection could happen soon. If that turns out to be true, it would further embarrass Starmer and reinforce the idea that the political ground is shifting under everyone's feet. One thing is clear: this is no longer normal politics. The system is under pressure, and the public is watching closely to see who finally tells the truth and delivers real change. As the fallout continues, the Jenrick sacking is now being seen as more than just an internal Conservative dispute. It has become a symbol of a party that no longer trusts its own senior figures. The fact that a shadow cabinet member could be removed so quickly, based on alleged private talks, shows how deep the fear runs inside the party. Many Conservatives clearly believe defeat is coming, and that fear is driving panic at the top. Nigel Farage made it clear that he is not hiding the reality of what is happening behind the scenes. He openly admitted that he is speaking with many senior political figures across the country, including MPs, peers in the House of Lords, and local leaders. According to Farage, these discussions are happening because people can see the writing on the wall. They see a Conservative Party that may soon stop being a serious national force. That alone is a devastating admission about the state of British politics today. At the same time, Farage rejected the idea that Reform UK is simply scooping up unhappy Conservatives without standards. He stressed that Reform has already turned people away and will continue to do so. Anyone joining must truly believe that the last 14 years of Conservative government were a failure. That includes admitting mistakes on mass immigration, energy policy, and net zero. Without that honesty, Farage said, there is no place for them. This puts pressure not just on the Conservatives, but also on Labour and Keir Starmer. Farage repeatedly suggested that Starmer is benefiting from Conservative collapse rather than offering a bold new vision. While Labour presents itself as stable and responsible, Farage argued that Starmer supports many of the same policies that created the current crisis. On energy especially. Farage accused Labour of doubling down on ideas that make life more expensive for working people. Farage's criticism of renewables was one of the strongest moments of the exchange. He argued that Britain's current approach is locking the country into higher energy costs for decades. He pointed out that wind and solar depend heavily on gas as backup, meaning energy bills stay high while domestic gas production is shut down. In his view, this is hurting families, destroying industry, and making Britain less competitive on the world stage. He also warned that future industries, like data centers, AI, and crypto, will need massive amounts of cheap, reliable energy. Without it, those industries will simply go elsewhere. That warning applies whether Labour under Starmer or the Conservatives remain in charge. Farage's message was blunt. Without affordable energy, there is no serious plan for economic growth. Back on the Jenrick story, Farage continued to downplay claims of a secret plot. He said conversations happen all the time in politics and that talking does not mean defecting. He even joked about calling Jenrick later and possibly buying him a drink. The tone was casual, but the message was serious. Badenoch's response looked rushed and defensive, not confident or controlled. Farage also addressed concerns within Reform UK itself. Some members worry that former Conservatives could bring internal fighting and drama with them. Farage said those concerns are valid and promised that anyone who brings that behavior will not be welcome. Reform, he said, is building something different, not repeating the chaos voters have already rejected. Perhaps the most telling moment came when Farage hinted that more defections are coming, including from Labour. If that happens, it would be deeply embarrassing for Starmer and would further damage Labour's image as a united alternative government. Even the suggestion alone adds to the sense that the traditional party system is cracking. In the end, the Jenrick sacking may be remembered as a turning point, not because of where Jenrick ends up, but because it exposed how fragile the political establishment has become. Voters are angry, parties are nervous, and figures like Farage are filling the space left by collapsing trust. Whether Starmer likes it or not, this chaos is reshaping the political battlefield, and it's far from over.